Well, good evening. Just doing a short sound check to make sure everything's okay and give some time to everyone to come online. I like this part. I've realized that I don't really get to see everyone that is joining for some reason. I'm not aware of why, but thank you all for joining. I have been receiving some messages and I thought I will reply to some of the questions that have come up. So while we wait for people to join in the meantime, one of the most popular things that come up are talking about beginners starting to really deep breathe. They're starting to notice, the first thing that they notice is they feeling a bit lightheaded or even a bit dizzy, which is a good indication that you've noticed it. And it goes to prove that how long it's been since your body's received that amount of attention and oxygen. Okay, so it's a good sign, but I would recommend is that when you are feeling lightheaded and a bit dizzy, it's an indication that you're taking in, your body really doesn't know how to manage all that oxygen all of a sudden out of the blue. But it is an indication that you are inhaling and then exhaling not at the same rhythm. So either you inhale and exhale at the same rhythm, the 4 counts, or you exhale longer than you inhale. So you obviously exhaling rapidly. And that tends to be a response of your normal behavior, is that there's something in the mind that says, let's rush this. It's subtle, but it's there. You don't want to rush breathing. You do not want to rush this perfect mechanism that the body was designed to release the carbon dioxide. So you really want to get that oxygen in, and then you want to take your time in releasing it. All right? It needs time to collect it and to release it. And you're trying to get rid of it, and the body hasn't even been able to produce it yet. Okay, remember, there's a lot going on before. So when you inhale, you take a deep breath in, and then there's always a holding. You count to 4, or if you're doing the longer exercise, you count to 12 or to 15. There's a holding of the breath for a reason. All right. So every part is essential. And the exhale is really, really important. It needs to be calm. It needs to go slow. Okay. And then there's a sudden contraction, mild contraction of that abdomen that hasn't been used in a very long time for many of us. And it squeezes out that little bit of stale air at the bottom. All right. And then there's a moment of holding, and then you start again. So if you are realizing, and after a while, you won't even feel that dizziness and lightheadedness, because now the body is expecting it. It knows it will receive it. And because you are consistent, all right? So do not be alarmed. Nothing's going to happen. Just don't make it. The moment you're feeling a bit lightheadedness, just know that is a first indication. I need to go slower. I'm not going to rush this. Why rush? Where do you have to go? Breathing is something you can become accustomed to while you're in the supermarket, pushing that trolley, and you can just take in a breath or two, and it's slow. You need to really appreciate. The attention and the love that you're giving to your body. Okay? So please do not rush this. It is not something that you need to get this done in order to then go. No, the whole point of deep breathing is to calm your body, to get it out of that state of emergency, fight or flight, so then you do have that clarity. And believe me, the calmer you are, the slower you go, the more you can accomplish. It sounds like a paradox to the mind, and probably that mind will be yelling at me and saying, what are you saying? No, I got to rush. No, it's the other way around. The calmer you are, the more centered you are, the more aligned you are, the more clarity and more expanded panoramic view you have, the more confident you feel. You've chemically changed the environment of your body inside. You will accomplish more. Anyway, I don't want to try and convince you with words. I want to prove it to you through your own experience. So I really want, oh, hello, everyone. I really wanted to just, make sure that you're not doing anything wrong by getting dizzy. All I'm saying is that you might be rushing this, and the rush normally comes in, I'm going to exhale faster and then take the next one and then exhale. So that's all that's happening. But now that you know, just do it with ease. All right. So today I want to talk to you about, I just sort of brushed through it the last time, about energy being trapped in your body. And I know a lot of people have a definition of emotions, which they just sort of, yeah. It's something I feel, not concerned about it. Let me just concentrate on the breathing. It is important. Energy in motion, your emotions, is something gets trapped in your body. A little bit like trapped gas. And, mothers who have just had babies, how much your babies suffer when they have trapped gas. It is something that you want to take care of and help them. And trapped energy, that energy of your emotions, gets trapped. And when you're not being aware of them, they live in your body. They live in your body, and now you have no room for new experiences and new emotions because it's full. It's completely full. And why we tend to hold on to emotions is because in the past, if we've had a good experience about a certain experience and you felt really, really good, the mind tends to want to recreate it. So it keeps thinking about it over and over and again. Even a good emotion or a bad emotion, it can still be trapped. Your body wasn't designed to hold on to anything. It is just the vehicle for you to experience, let go, be an empty vessel once again, and experience once again through your feelings this beautiful reality, and then let go. And so you then, through your whole life, 70, 80, 90, 100 years on this planet, you have the diversity of experiencing different experience, one after the other, and they will all be different. Change, constant change. That's what invigorates a person of always wanting to getting up in the morning and creating new experiences. But when you're holding on to past experiences, where the mind constantly wants to recreate a good experience or try and avoid a bad experience, so now it's trying to control outcome and circumstances, people, events. Okay, no. That you were a policeman in the sense to sort of police those around you, circumstances around you. No. You are an empty vessel experiencing. Okay, allow an empty vessel to then have this flow, consistent flow of emotions that come, you experience, you learn, you create, and they go. How? Through the breath. You breathe through them. So for those of you that have been around for decades, okay, you haven't been doing it, and I don't blame you. I wasn't taught this either. I've learned all of this and I've practiced all of this in my 40s, okay? I'm now soon 46, so you can imagine I have been blessed with 6 beautiful years because I didn't know this before. And this is why I feel inspired to sit here every day and to share this with you. And whoever feels this information resonating with them, the mind's not going to understand this, but there's a part of you that will resonate with them. And now be on the lookout. So I'm not going to talk to you about trapped gas. I'm going to talk to you about trapped emotions, which can be connected to the trapped gas as well. However, trapped emotions. how to identify them. During the day, we tend to want to identify ourselves with the emotion, ourselves with the thought. So emotions of stress, disempowerment, fear, anxiety, hopefulness, doubt, unworthiness, all of these emotions, there's names for them. But in the moment, while you're feeling them, our minds tend to want to find a solution on how to avoid them. So we sort of suppress them, or how to recreate them. It always goes into how to mode. An emotion comes, no. How can I avoid that? And then we suppress it again. I know when a feeling of fear comes up, the tendency is always to try and think, how am I going to avoid that in the future? All right, that's an example. Fear, anxiety, unworthiness, lack of love, any kind of emotion that comes up and is not felt. Why does it come up in the first place? It's because the body said, it's time to move on. Let this go. Let's release it. And through the breath. So during your day, I'd like you now just to practice every single day. You wake up in the morning and you do your breaths, but now just for a while, even if it's just for a few seconds here and there, just to become accustomed to get into that habit, okay? Something you've never done before, and so we're going to introduce it. To become the witness of the thoughts. So when you become the witness of the thoughts, you're now like a bit of an investigator, one that just, follows the person around to see what they're doing. You're just now witnessing these thoughts. So witnessing thoughts and believing thoughts are not the same thing. Witnessing thoughts, you're just a passive observer of your own mind. Okay, you're just curious to see how many thoughts come up and how many times does the same thought come up. And so if you find yourself thinking the same thought more often, just check in to see how you're feeling about it. And then you can identify, that thought always comes up about me lacking something. So there's a feeling of lack. I'm going to release it. So you identify where the emotion is coming up. Some people feel the emotion in their chest, some in their gut, some in their lower back, some in their upper back, some on their shoulders, some in their head. You can identify where the emotional discomfort is. Trapped energy, emotions, energy in motion, and when they're not moving, they're trapped. No big deal. Through your breath, you identify. Now you've been the witness, you've seen, and there's no judgment or try and just realize that your mind doesn't need to go into how to avoid it or how to recreate it. Witnessing is simply that, witnessing. Okay, so tell your mind to take a break, tell your mind to take a vacation for those 2 to 5 seconds. Okay, because it really doesn't take any time to identify an emotion. It is some sort of sensation in the body. Very easy, okay, to identify. There's some sort of sensation happening. Headache is a sensation. A heaviness here on the chest is a sensation. A mild ache in the back is a sensation. Your lower back aches and pains, sensation. Mind wants to define it in all different ways, but they are sensations in the body. Okay, so when you have these kind of emotions, so I just like you to become accustomed to observing and becoming aware of these sorts of things. Then when you have, let's say you have a sort of anxiety, heaviness on your chest. Okay, so it's an indication. You stop. And now you label it. This is anxiety. This is stress. This is a feeling of lack. Or however you want to describe it. A lot of people enjoy giving it a color. Some people are visually more, they highlight it more with their vision. I like to define things more with my words, the logical sort of. So I give it a label. Maybe you want to give it a tune if you're more inclined with that sense. So you've got, different senses. use them all. So I like to label it. This is anxiety. This is fear. So you need to be really, really careful that when you're highlighting an emotion, it doesn't make you that emotion. You're not a fearful person. You're simply feeling the energy of fear, which we have called an emotion. You are not a fearful person. You have some energy that we've labeled fear in our body, because fear has a certain frequency. Okay, very, very low frequency. Lack has a low frequency. Depression is the lowest of the frequencies. It's, a feeling of disempowerment. But it doesn't make you a disempowered person. It's really important. I'm going to repeat this, I think, every single day. You are not defined by the emotions you feel. Nice. You are not defined by the emotions you feel. You are not broken in any kind of way. You're just simply misinformed, like I was. Everyone is. So let's now empower ourselves with this. It is simply some energy that is trapped. So you identify it, you label it, and like I like to do, I close my eyes and you breathe into it. Okay? You breathe into it, breathe in, and when the exhale, you can actually visualize. I love to visualize the energy being released. And you do this maybe 2 or 3 breaths once you've identified. But why this helps you a lot is because now it's clicking in the mechanism and creating a neural pathway in your brain that now you're more prone to identifying these energy blockages that before you were completely unaware of. So this is the beauty of becoming a witness to sensations, a witness to your thoughts, because the more you become aware of them, the more opportunity you have of releasing them. So you don't have to hold on to these things for decades and decades and decades. I had a beautiful metaphor that came to me the other day. Marie and I were in the supermarket and I had an empty trolley. And the empty trolley walking into the supermarket, the emptiness of that trolley gave me the opportunity to fill it up with as much as I wanted. But if I walked into that supermarket full of my own personal stuff, bags and handbags and coats and things like that, I wouldn't have enough room to actually put in the things I wanted. Okay, to experience those foods I wanted. So if you're gonna wake up every morning with a full trolley full of past emotions, good ones and bad ones, and thoughts and beliefs about your past, you're going to wake up in the morning. What are you going to do? You're going to be thinking about them. You're going to be feeling them all over again. These are past emotions. You're done with them. You've had your experience. You've learned your lessons from them. Don't you want new ones? This is why we're unhappy, because we already know what to expect from our day. We already know who we're going to bump in and how we're going to react to them and how they're going to react to us. You've seen that movie, okay? So it's important to empty this vessel from these energies. The breath is designed to release the waste, like I said in the previous 4 videos. It releases the toxins, it releases the carbon dioxide, it releases the 70% of the 700 billion old cells of our body. It is the chief cleansing machine, okay? The breath, and it also releases you of these trapped energy blockages, okay? You don't want them, but you don't know that you don't want them if you don't know that you have them. So now you got to make yourself aware. What do I have blocked? And the only way to know that is to feel and become aware of the sensations. First, it's a thought. If the thought feels uncomfortable, like now it's easy for me. If a thought comes to my mind that makes me feel uncomfortable in the sense just thinking about it, I'm aware of it already. I love to meditate. Marie and I meditate every single day. And it's not just the lotus position sitting in an Om, but it being meditating even with our eyes open while we're out and about becomes easier and easier and easier. And to become aware, the witnessing, the witnessing of our thoughts very much. But we do want experiences. That's why we're here. We're all having experiences, okay? So become accustomed to becoming aware. Be the witness of your thoughts instead of believing every single thought. When you witness your thoughts, you create a bit of distance between you and the thought, you and the emotion. When you're believing your thoughts, you become one with them. And now you walk around trying, and the mind wants to either protect you from that emotion or trying to figure out how to recreate it. The mind needs to just give chill, the chill pill. Okay? So it's important to become aware of this. Because if you're not going to become aware of your energies that are trapped in your body, when you start getting accustomed to, deep breathing every single day, you'll feel sensations come up, and then you'll just have that innate tendency to want to suppress it. And then the deep breathing helps you to release it, and then you want to suppress it. So you'll eventually help your body physically, but there will be an emotional battle. And I don't want you to go through that. They're bound to come up. Emotions will always come up until they are released. And if you don't release them, guess what? They'll just keep coming up. They'll just keep coming up. If you didn't notice it the first time, don't worry, it'll come up again. You didn't notice it, don't worry, it'll come up. And this could go on and on and on. You might as well release them. Releasing them through the breath means you're going to have to feel it. Feel the fear and breathe it out. Feeling fear is not going to kill you. Trying to suppress the fear is what's hurting you. Okay? The suppression of trapped energy hurts just as bad, if not more, than trapped gas. Okay, guys? The trapped gas just came into my mind. All right. But just to give you an idea, a physical indication of what that's like. Let me just check if I can move on, because I really don't want to miss anything. So today, So today we're going to be talking about, I just want to give you a brief description of the second breath. So there's a daily menu I have on my list. After reading this book, and in researching other types of breathing exercises that athletes do, yoga practices do, in other meditations. One of my favorite authors and a doctor, his name Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has some brilliant breathing exercises that I love to use. So after using a few, and because you're all beginners, I'm assuming, I don't know, but the priority of these videos is to invite all those that have not been accustomed to breathing, meditating, or things like that, doing yoga or exercise. Breathing is the most important thing. So I'd like to bring to the forefront some really easy breathing exercises. And when you're feeling comfortable and confident that now you know how to read your body, how to feel into the sensations, then you can go and explore this topic and master it to the highest degree level. I really have fun trying to, read into, and I speak with other friends that they suggest and how they felt about this and everything. So please don't let this end when these 21 days are over with me. I really hope you feel as enthusiastic, invigorating, and excited about this newfound power within you, which is simply breathing, which will then allow you to have so much more energy and clarity that you're a great believer of the potential that you have within. All right. And also identifying your thoughts and releasing these energies I'd really like you to become enthusiastic about this, because it's something you will be doing every day for the rest of your life. You might as well enjoy it. Okay? Deep breathing and giving that kind of attention to your body every single day. So you might as well become an expert between you, your body, your mind. Okay? Mind, body, and spirit, also said another way. However, let's start. So the first one that I introduced to you was simply the deep belly, conscious deep breathing, where your mind is completely blank. Your mind is never invited to these exercises. Let's put it that way. Your mind is never invited. When you open that door, metaphorically, that you're now going to just sit and meditate, the mind needs to wait outside, along with everything, who you think you are, your personality, your behavior, your thoughts, your to-do list, whatever. And you just do these exercises. You wake up in the morning, and before you engage with your daily routine of what needs to be done, you do your 10 deep belly conscious breathing. All right? That will invigorate you. So the 4, 4, 4, and 4, the deep belly exercise that I gave you just to become accustomed to this extra oxygen, is something for you to even do while you're walking or you're out and about, just taking deep breaths. Now, the other exercise that I introduced to you yesterday, that a lot of people are kind of getting dizzy or lightheaded, yes, it involves a little bit more time, 5 to 6 minutes, as you're breathing in, let's say for 3 or for 4 counts. Then you hold 4 times as much. So a lot of people went in all in and, did the 4 and then held their breath for 16. Okay, 4 times as much. And then released their breath. They must have really released it quite fast. And then after 2 or 3, you sort of feel lightheaded. Now, that exercise is perfect to do first thing in the morning. It invigorates you, but get into it slowly. So maybe take a nice deep breath for 3 counts. Hold it for 4 times as much for 12. And then a nice slow relaxing exhale for twice as much as your intake. So for 6. Okay? And then start over again. So that I would recommend to do every morning. And if you can, even in the evening and after lunch. But if it's too much, just go back to your 4, 4, 4 deep belly breaths. Okay? Even if you do this one just in the morning, just to get started. Okay, we called it the Baywatch bikini because it really helps get rid of that fat storing machine into a fat burning. So it's extra oxygen. So I really suggest you do that in the morning. Now, the second one I enjoy doing, because as yesterday we were discussing these 2 nervous systems that you have, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic one, okay? So the one that calms your digestive system, it calms your muscle, it puts you in a restful position. The other one, the sympathetic one, puts you up for fight or flight, okay? It pumps in adrenaline into your muscles, you're feeling stronger, you're feeling faster, okay? And it doesn't give any attention to your digestive system because you ain't eating while you're running, all right? So because we spoke about these 2, it's really important to realize that just before you start eating and you've gone through the whole morning and maybe you've stressed yourself out, you've been shallow breathing, you've been in your thoughts, you've engaged in meetings with other people, your muscles tend to tighten up, all right? And it's not good for your digestive system at all when you're feeling that your body's a bit tense. Okay, and probably the fight or flight emergency has already kicked in without you knowing, and you're feeling a bit more tense. So you want to kind of calm yourself down. So the perfect breathing exercise I enjoy doing just before lunch, maybe 4 or 5. I don't do 10 particularly because it was suggested to do 10, but 4 or 5 of these. Okay, now they've called it the Kung Fu breathing, because they do it in Kung Fu, they do it in karate, and another martial arts. But I'm not going to demonstrate it fully. here, but what it is, just to give you an idea, and I've also written it in the notes, is that you take a deep breath in, okay? And as you take in the deep breath, you need to be standing for this, okay? So maybe while you're laying the table, you need to be standing and feeling like $1 million. You stand, and while you're taking in the deep breath, you gently tilt up your head, okay, towards the ceiling, all right? And what I like to do, I put my arms up at the same time, but you don't have to do that. As I said, you will find the flow and rhythm to how you're breathing for yourself. I'm just giving you some advice. And then on the exhale, it is a fast and forceful ha. Okay, I'm not gonna do the loud thing, but you have sort of the idea of the kung fu, like what they do, that ha, that loud one. All right, so they call it the kung fu. It's a pretty loud, and it's a forceful exhale. It's just to get those muscles loosened up, okay, around your belly, okay, your diaphragm a bit. And I do about 3-4 of them, maximum 5. Okay, so it's a forceful exhale and a long in breath, out, ha, and you bring your head back down. I'm laughing because I can just imagine it. But try it, really. It does wonders for you. I feel invigorated every single time. So I introduced that onto my breathing exercise menu. I do 3 different types every day, either between the deep belly or the what we call the Baywatch bikini one, this Kung Fu one. Every single time I feel like really getting my body full of oxygen, because it's just, I know how it feels now. It's been maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks that I've been religiously following these breathing techniques since I discovered that book in the United States. So I'm using the book as a textbook in a way to do these videos, but also from my personal experiences and also researching it further, because I'm really hoping to get into more detail about these exercises after the 21 days. So I think I've gone a bit over time. As if anyone's got any questions, I can see, let me see if I can see some. And Judy, so true, why rush it before I learn? Very good, Judy, thank you. Yes. And that causes anxiety. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for commenting. I've just discovered where the commenting section is. All right. So I'm not going to hold you up for any more. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do subscribe to the YouTube so then you can see when I do put up new videos. I've also created a channel on my Instagram. They've just introduced something called IGTV, where I do small little videos in the morning when we go out and do our breathing exercises also outside. So if you'd like to join me on Instagram, it's the Kusala Consulting page there on Instagram. I'm very active on that. You're most welcome to send me messages on Messenger. And please do join the Kusala Consulting private group, where I've put the link on my page, because I do write notes for you every day. And I put links in there and suggestions and just some reminders of these exercises, like the one that I've just mentioned today, the Kung Fu. It's all nicely written there for you. And it's a PDF, so you can share it with whomever you want to. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. And I will see you tomorrow. Be good to yourselves. I love you all.